What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the NYG Blue Zone. It's your boy Attikis. It is Monday's therapy session. Once again, the Giants had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, going up against the Detroit Lions in Detroit, had every chance to win this game and somehow found a way to lose, because that's what they do. Before I get into it, I want to ask you guys to please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time I drop some new content, you're one of the first ones to be notified. And, like yesterday, right after the game, my boy Rudy and I, we went on and did a rapid recap of what we saw, what we thought. We did our analysis of the players, the coaches, the whole gambit. And when we were done, and that's how I like to do it, right? Like, I don't want to see and hear what other people have to say on a variety of different podcasts that I watch and people who I listen to. I want to give you my clean, unfiltered perspective. And Rudy's pretty much the same way. So we go in there and we give our perspective. And then today, I watched some more film, and I watched a couple of guys who I tend to like their shows. They have podcasts also, and some of them had a different perspective than me. Many of them had a shared perspective, and it was nice to see that the things that I thought of, they thought of as well, and they were the key moments in the game, which tells me that we're given the right analysis of these games. If it's a shared perspective, then we're seeing similar things. I want to say that Jameis Winston is who we thought Jameis Winston was going to be. For the life of me, I still can't understand how Jameis Winston made it to the third string quarterback, given how much energy, how much effort, how much enthusiasm, and how many opportunities he gives us to win more than Russell Wilson did. And I really don't want to sound like I'm just ganging up on Russell Wilson and not appreciative of who he is, the man he is, former Walter Payton Man of the Year, and all of that good stuff. But I want to win games. I don't really care about past accolades. I want the guy who's going to help me to win the game now, right? So I wanted to start there because he just put on such a heroic, Herculean effort. I mean, he threw 2 touchdowns. He caught a touchdown. The guy played at a level that you want your starting quarterback to play at. He didn't take bad sacks. The one time Aiden Hutchinson got to him was on the last play of the game. And I got to say, the New York Football Giants offensive line put on a clinic. You had Aiden Hutchinson going up against Jermaine Illuminor. Jermaine Illuminor held it down, okay? He gave Jameis Winston all the time he's needed to pass the ball, to find the open receiver. That one play where Jameis Winston threw that pick, he held the ball a little longer than he should have. I really don't think he saw the corner behind that defender who was bearing down on him, but he probably should have thrown that ball away. I know that's a pass that he'd like to have back, but overall, by and large, Jameis Winston has stepped in for an injured Jackson Dart and has played exceptionally well. And for all the people out there, and there are only a couple, but those people out there who are harping on Jameis for a bad pick and putting the ball in harm's way one other time, shut up. This guy produced an offensive performance that yielded 516 yards of offense against a defense that's very good, not so much in the red zone good, but a very good defense. He put forth an effort that could have and should have won that game. But once again, the defense has let us down. And it's old at this point. It's something that I don't want to keep going back and forth on. I don't want to keep talking about it. You do not expect this defense to win you any games in this league. And this is part of the reason why I was not mad at all at Kafka saying, I'm not trying to go up by 6 and kick a field goal. We want to score a touchdown. Now, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. But had he kicked a field goal, had he sent Young Waku in there to kick a field goal, I think the Detroit Lions would have likely still come down the field and scored a touchdown. Why do I think that? Because they've done it 5 times already. So why would I think anything will be different today? So I appreciate, and in fact, that's the type of head coach I want, is a guy who's going to go balls to the wall and we're going to end this shit now. And that's what he tried to do. Didn't work out. It was the right call at the right time. Now, when they were in the red zone and they went for a pass, a run, no, 2 passes, then a run, and they didn't get in, I would have done the play calling a little bit different, even though on that pass out in the flat to Theo Johnson, where he was just like 4 inches off on that pass, he catches that ball, everybody's praising him. But he didn't throw the pass at the right spot. Theo was slightly out of position. It didn't work out. But I still appreciate the play calling, the effort, and the trot. You know, for the Giants to move the ball at will, keep in mind, the Giants were deep in their own territory every time they got the ball. It seemed like every time they got the ball. We only saw our punter, Jamie Gillen, maybe 2 or 3 times during the game. The Giants were moving the ball and moving it almost whenever they wanted to, however they wanted to. The defense, once again, they played well for 3 3/4 quarters, and they just couldn't finish the game, even after giving up huge chunk plays through rushes that made no sense to me. They were still very much in a game that they should have never been in. They were 13.5-point dogs going into this game, and they still found a way to be not just competitive, but highly competitive, and almost walked in a Ford Field and got a victory. They almost did that. I know, almost ain't good enough. I get it. But damn it, man. These guys are balling. You know, from the first drive where the New York Giants got the ball deep in their own territory, marched down the field, scored a touchdown. I mean, you kind of expect it from the Giants now, right? I mean, who doesn't? And I need to say this also. For years, we've been complaining about the Giants do not push the ball down the field. They had 10 explosive plays yesterday. 10 explosive plays where they got 20 or more air yards under the ball. There was a play in particular where Jameis Winston is going down in the process of getting sacked. He avoids the sack, heaves the ball down the field. Isaiah Hodgins comes up with the pass. That never happens for the Giants. This is what we have wanted from the Giants for a long time, and the Giants are finally giving us these types of performances on offense, and it still isn't enough. Which leads me into the whole Kafka thing. And I'm not even going to get into all of the other details, the 2 trick plays that work to perfection, right? The running game has finally reestablished itself. And in most cases, you want to do run to create passing opportunities. But the Giants, when that hasn't been there for them, they've passed it to create running opportunities, and it's worked out really well. So the New York Giants running back room has been performing. The offensive line has been outstanding compared to prior years that we've seen put on the field. I think the tight end room is outstanding. I think the receiving core, the wide receiving room, the coaches have done a great job at piecemealing a wide receiving room. And they've been very effective. Need I say it again? They put up 516 yards yesterday, 2 passing touchdowns. We even got receivers who are throwing the ball to quarterbacks who are catching them and scoring touchdowns. The New York Football Giants offense is clicking the way we've always wanted it to click. And this is going to bring me right back to my other point that I have said repeatedly, time and time again. These Giants need to find a way to keep Mike Kafka on this team. Whether it be head coach or offensive coordinator, they need to keep him, Mike Groh, Shea Tierney, all together to keep this offensive continuity moving forward. They need definite improvements at the middle linebacker position. I sound like a broken record. I feel like a broken record because I keep saying the same thing over and over. But they need to make sure that they improve that middle linebacker position. They've got to do something to improve our secondary because although I will say this again, the secondary played well yesterday. They played very well, but it wasn't enough because once the running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, got into the secondary, the second level of defenders, they weren't able to wrap them up and tackle them. And that's been a big problem. But that starts off at the defensive line, right? And I don't care what anybody says. I think Andre Patterson is at a place where his usefulness is really on the verge of expiring. I like Andre Patterson. I like what he's done for us over the years. But lately, he has not been effective with this defensive line. Look at Dexter Lawrence's numbers. I mean, it was really nice to see Darius Alexander have 2 sacks yesterday. That was great, right? But look at everything else that we're getting from this defensive line, from this defensive unit. From the middle linebacker position, ever since Micah McFadden, and God, are we seeing how much we miss having him. But when Flanagan Fowles went out yesterday, it was like, oh my God. I just knew that we didn't have that second level of defense in place to be able to stop Jahmyr Gibbs, and it showed. He exploited us repeatedly. We didn't give up the big plays downfield. We did not do that. The secondary did okay. But that first layer of defense, that defensive front, was highly ineffective against the run. You cannot stop the run. You cannot win games. And the Giants led in all of the right statistical categories in this game to win the game and still found a way to lose. It becomes very frustrating. So part of that is coaching. Part of that is player execution. Part of that is not knowing your personnel well enough to put them in place. And I need to say this also. We have the same deficiencies, if not more, on offense that we do on defense, but the effort is far better on the offensive side of the ball. You think Mike Kafka hasn't had to find new ways to be creative and work with a reduced level of talent on offense to be effective? Not only has he done it, he's increased our point production and yardage total in our games week after week after week, keeping us in games that we should be losing, that we should be winning rather, and we end up losing. He has done more with less all season long. We lost Malik Neighbors early in the season, brought in a rookie quarterback well ahead of schedule, brought in a rookie running back well ahead of schedule because of injury. And the offense has continued to click and perform, with the exception of the game in New Orleans where they just looked like they couldn't get out of their own way. They gave that game away. Now, the defensive side of the ball has been dealing with injuries also, but we haven't seen them even be marginally consistent with being basic, just good enough. They have regressed in a way that is just unfathomable, giving up huge chunk plays. You give up a chunk play once in the game, okay, you got caught looking. But you give it up over and over, game after game, in different ways. That's a problem with the defense. And when that's a problem with the defensive culture suffers. And when the defensive culture suffers, the individual effort is compromised. And then this is what you end up with. So I have nothing else to say about this game other than it was just another one that they could have, should have won, but they did not. Listen, they need to find a way to somehow keep Mike Kafka and Shea Tierney on this roster, because these guys are good, man. They're good. And there's another team out there looking. And if he doesn't get a head coaching position and he wants to remain an offensive coordinator, the Giants need to find a way to keep him, restructure his contract so he is paid handsomely and you keep him here. That's if you don't like him well enough for him to be your head coach. I know they're looking at other guys. They think the defense is the problem. But I tell you, man, you got your offense fixed. This offense can run with any other team in the league. Think about if the defense gave the offense more possessions to work with, the same way other teams do, and they're putting up 35, 40 points a game. Just think if we had a defense that was complementary to our offense, how much better this team would be, where they're getting the ball deep in their own red zone every single possession yesterday, all but maybe 2, and still march the ball down the field and put up 27 points with an offensive line that's finally gelling. with a piecemeal wide receiver core that's producing because the plays are working. We got a 5'8" receiver with the shortest arm span in the NFL, accumulating over 100 receiving yards in the first quarter. And you tell me that we somehow need to get rid of Mike Kafka? The Giants better figure this out, man, and they better re-sign Jermaine Illuminor. They better give him a deal. He's 30 years old, but he got another 3-4 years in him. And while he's got it, you keep him. Stop letting good players get away. The Giants need to figure this out. They need to figure it out now. Hey, listen, once again, thanks for joining me, but please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so every time I drop some new content, you're one of the first ones to be notified. And we're going to have another show tomorrow where we're going to talk about position groups and things of that nature just to make sure we keep the content lively. And I got some things that I want to talk about and share with you guys, so make sure you tune in for that too. But thanks for staying with us for a little while today, you guys. Go Big Blue.
Yeah, a lot of girls probably crying from my old high school. Look, they see me everywhere they go. I probably would too. Look, crossed over to the Jordan man like I'm Michael. Yeah, eating blessings so much I might need lipo. Yeah, tailored for the doves like I'm walking in chucks. Yeah, it's just in this plan, man, I see all y'all shook. Look, knew that I was great ever since I was a rook. Man, all y'all singles making me look good. Okay, praise to the Most High, yeah, that's Jesus. Look, but when it come to this rap thing, I can't lose. Yeah, back-to-back number ones, that's the thing greats do. Yeah, tell them boys that ain't nothing I can't do. It's my year. It's my year.